what is even this screenplay? I'm glad it exists, and especially in execution. But like, imagine reading this and being like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! When were we supposed to have a sequel to Godzilla? Like, what's going on here? Like, this is like, where'd you get this idea from? I mean, it's kind of cool, but like, it's so strange. Like, I can't imagine like coming up with this. It's like, okay, so this scientist and he's there's these terrorists and they get the Godzilla cells. Then his daughter dies, and then so he puts her blood in a rose, and then he puts the Godzilla cells in the rose, and that creates this whole other monster. And it's like, it's got all these like, it's clearly got these kind of themes about environmental, eco-terrorism and biotechnology. Okay, so I get the idea that perhaps it's like he's like, all right, I'm going to go write the sequel to the Godzilla film. And he's like, yes, I've got all these ideas. And he personalized it so much that like I can imagine him handing it back to the producer and just being like, wait, what? And then just being like, this feels like a draft of like something that never was realized. And everyone would be like, man, remember that Godzilla script that never got made with like the Biollante? Like, what's that all about? Well, it got made. And it's like, Biollante is like the last really, really cool original Godzilla antagonist opponent, in my opinion. This is almost as cool as it gets in terms of design. Well, the final design. Before that, it's kind of goofy, where it's just the roses. But that final Biollante design, and go check out Kaiju Samurai's Godzilla Neo sketch of it. It's brilliant. It's such a... This is one of the last really interesting Godzilla films, you could go so far as to say. One of the better ones, just because of its odd uniqueness. I mean, it goes all over the place. Some people have issues with the music. It sounds very dated. At the time, they were trying to modernize the series' music, although, I mean, in the context of, like, 89, this sort of upbeat electronic sort of synthesizer-laden kind of, like, electronic drum punch, kind of, like, these sounds would go out of date in a few years. I can imagine in Japan earlier than in the rest of the world even, potentially. What I love about this film is it's very much still has the same tone as the 84 film. It's like, it's a serious film about trying to stop Godzilla, them trying to do everything they can to halt his presence. They treat him, it's not like, one of those, oh, okay, he's a hero now, but there's another monster here. It's, if anything, it's like, the other monster's unleashed, and it's almost like Biollante is trying to stop Godzilla in a Mothra sense, although it looks like an antagonist, is kind of treated as such, although it winds up being kind of even more potentially dangerous and ferocious than Godzilla, although this goes to, the kind of weaknesses of the screenplay. Its heart is in the right place. One of the most interesting films of the Heisei era in the Godzilla canon. Really fun stuff, I'd go so far as to say. Do share your thoughts on Godzilla vs. Biollante in the comments below. One of the most interesting films in the series, or a complete mess and a missed opportunity of sorts, and inferior to some of the Heisei films that followed, such as the King Ghidorah, Mothra, or Mechagodzilla. I imagine many probably think it's better than the Space Godzilla film, maybe not better than the Destroyer film. People think that's the highlight of the series, I imagine. It is pretty good. Anyway, I'll end it here. Thanks again, my friends. Appreciate it immensely.